illustrious Tanya Profound Galloway. Now, Profound, I did take a few notes here. Hold on. Now, Profound is not only the first black female real estate agent in Alexandria, which in itself, the first black female independent giver.
That's actually my grandma. My grandma.
Okay, so can I tell you something? If you were the first black one, I didn't want to say this.
Listen, we've been way behind. We've been way behind.
I was just saying, I was thinking that. I was like, you know, what so for your grandmother to do that, though, I'm sure that was just amazing. I'm sure her fortitude was, you know, passed down.
Absolutely. Work ethic, all of it.
And I'm sure that was directly into who you are today.
I like it.
So she's also an accomplished actress. Now that is her. She's the accomplished actress, definitely. And she had a leading role on a nationally syndicated show, which is TV1's 4 Mile Women, correct? She's part-time comedian, and she does make you chuckle on acting as well. And she enjoys showing people the greatness of their existence, which I think is just something that's innate within her. So if you've met her, then you kind of feel her essence. You feel her greatness. She really is just a very open, warm vibe all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course she's experienced loss, as many of us have, and motivation is her thing. So if you know anything about me, you know motivation is all my thing. I talk to anybody, right or wrong, anybody, anywhere I am, I'm like, oh, I'm having fun, you should be having fun too. So I love that. I just love the concept of motivating other people. And in case you don't know, it's the premise of my show. So I created from the DMV, I created Lavish Conversations. Lavish Conversations are conversations with inspiring people of why existing is not enough. Well, when I say existing is not enough, many people might say, what do you mean? Because, you know, you must exist. However, existing alone is not enough because every day we wake up, you know, we have the opportunity to make a conscious decision to actually live our life, you know, purpose-driven, making sure that we're making a difference in the things that we do actually make an impact, you know, but a decent impact and intentional impact, if you will, as opposed to just whatever impact we make anyway. So when we do that, of course, we motivate others to do the same. So that's why I created these conversations, and it happened 3 years ago after my son passed away. Now, 3 years ago, you also experienced a loss, right? And so starting off, I know this is kind of heavy to start with, but not really. How did you press through that loss? Because that's what made me kind of who I am, even though I can't imagine a worse experience that I've ever had.
It is always traumatic when we lose somebody close to us, right? So in loss, I began to tell people that loss is just love. Mourning is just love.
Completely.
And it just manifests in different ways. So the reason why we ache so bad is because we love them so much.
Exactly.
So it's just exhibiting love in the memories that we have. So I lost my oldest son 3 years ago. He was a stellar student at Jackson State University. He contracted a virus in Mississippi, and they could not figure out what it was. And luckily, that was right around when COVID was happening. It was not COVID. Met a steward and was kind enough to allow him to get him home. But he got home and he did not make it. So it was traumatic, it was difficult. Anytime you never want to outlive your children. Exactly. So you have to find, you really have to plead to the side of the most high. It's the only way, because other than that, and then I could never see my baby. So there was no way I could walk and be the woman that I am. And not still press forward through it, right?
Yeah.
And then try to motivate other people through it. And your story, I thought your story was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, because that's what I say. I definitely, without pressing towards the mark of the time, my higher calling, I wouldn't be here today. So when on that day when it happened, like I remember falling to the ground, and I remember falling down as Tamika, honestly. You know what I mean? And I don't remember getting up.
Right.
I just remember kind of coming out of this chrysalis, I guess, that I was in. And when I came out of it, I was in Nicole. I was actually in Hawaii.
You were reborn.
Exactly. Exactly. I was in Hawaii for a meditation retreat, and the instructor asked me, he said, you know, he has all of us, but if you wrote a book about your life up to this point, what would you call it? And if you wrote a book about your life from this point forward, what would you call it? I said, well, up to this point, I'd say it is what it is, because whatever happened has happened, you know what I'm saying? But then, I said, from this point forward, I would say, thank God I didn't kill myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me write my book. Thank God I didn't kill myself.
Which is awesome.
Thank God I have it.
Definitely awesome.
Thank
So my godmother was the treasurer of the Alexandria NAACP. She was Baker Jackson, the first and only black bakery in Alexandria. So wow. And they've been real estate developers my entire life. So I managed all the properties. Right. So she's a comedian. Well, was a comedian.
Oh wow.
And I thought her quick and twit was always hilarious. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, why did I do that? It incorporated into my persona a little bit. But yeah. You know, I just dabble with it.
You're pretty good for what I saw you. I mean, you know, just your regular, general conversation. Okay. Yeah.
I'll have it. Thank you.
So how do you use your creativity, or how did you use your creativity to aid in your healing process?
Well, I actually did use it. I did it in ways because I express myself best through written word. So I write a lot. And then I create things. So I pour myself into anything that I create. Our brand is essential. And it's the act of rising above all things. So I'll pour into the creativity of new designs or new messages that I want people to walk around and exhibit. Or I'll create shoes or pieces.
Yeah.
Just something that I could help to polish somebody else's life.
Right.
Or just take what I think is awesome and make it grand. Mm-hmm. I just like pouring myself into other people and then watching them manifest, like water.
I love that.
I like watching them grow. So
yeah, like give me something, I'm gonna multiply.
That's right.
It. That's what women do. They say.
Absolutely.
I don't know, but I've heard pray tell that you give a woman something, she's gonna make it into something
Absolutely.
else.
The hand that rocks the cradle.
Yeah. How about that?
Absolutely.
How about that? So tell me. Well, wait. Back to that. So what types of things do you write, and can you tell us a little bit more about Ascension really quickly?
Okay, so Ascension was a baby of mine that I always wanted to have, not just a clothing line, an urban line, but I wanted it to mean something. I wanted it to, we've bought into a lot of products just because they were colorful and beautiful, but they had no meaning. There was no resilience in carry through. So I wanted to create something that could encourage you just by wearing it.
Yeah.
So Ascension is the act of rising above. So whatever you need to ascend over or through, you have a piece of that, walking with you at all times. So I liked it. I stuck with it.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
And if you don't rise, you'll sink, right?
Listen, you will drown.
Yeah, you'll drown.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you use your platform to inspire and encourage other people?
Well, you know how a lot of people will pride themselves on being life coaches. It's a major mistake for me because, as soon as you say that I'm a life coach, right? Then immediately your life becomes under binocular.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes, exactly.
So now I will not say I'm a life coach, but I will definitely motivate you.
I love
no
that.
matter what it is, because you can motivate through anything.
Yeah.
You can motivate even through your personal trauma or turmoil or anything. So I pride myself first on being a mother. Second on motivating other people, because a lot of times you don't know your greatness until somebody dusts it off.
I love that you said that.
So I think it's dope.
I love that you said that because my whole thing is I love motivating people. I will send random messages to people.
Yeah, it's great.
Because it just falls on my spirit. And I know it's like, people probably think I'm Hallmark or something, but out of the blue, you'll get something from me and be like, I didn't even remember she had my number. You know what I mean?
Randomness
but I feel like you
keeps
might
you
have
in
needed
favor.
to hear it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Randomness and kindness keeps you in favor.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. So tell me, as an entrepreneur for half of your life, how did you start in the game? Like, what was the first undertaking you had?
What was understanding that I couldn't have anybody telling me what to do. And it wasn't that I had a problem with authority. It's ignorant leadership that I can't follow.
Okay.
So that's what it is for me. So it was why I'm gonna tell you where it started. Me and my little cousin, we used to take the comic books. In the back of the comic books, there were all these prizes you could win, but you had to sell these seeds.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it was like, okay, we're going to sell these seeds. And all we wanted was this little paper rocket. So we're going door to door selling these plant seeds, flower seeds, everything, every day after school, for hours and hours. Please buy these seeds.
Right.
These raggedy seeds. Please buy these seeds. So we had collected all the money. It was like, okay, now we're going to send the money in to get this paper rocket.
Right.
The value of the rocket was $2. We had like $80.
And how much
like,
work
wait a
had you
minute,
all
wait a
done?
minute,
Right.
wait. We had done all the work. We had assumed all of the cost, the labor, the liability, everything. I'm not fitting to send them this money. We're going to go. I went and bought 2 rockets.
Okay.
And then we kept the money. And we bought something else. and we sold to something else. So after that, it was I'll never look back.
Okay, well, that sounds like a good
Yeah, I'll never
plan.
look back.
I think that sounds like a good entrepreneurial undertaking for kids.
Well, yeah,
Definitely.
it's hustling.
That sounds
101.
even more creative than the candy stores that we all set up. And
That's
all
right.
Of those,
I had it in
you
your
know what I mean?
backpack, everything.
No, but you were creative with yours, so you kind of cornered the market. Because who else is out here, selling seeds?
Oh, it was terrible, but it was
You
the
know?
back of the comic books.
And you made $80. I can only
$80.
imagine how many seeds y'all sold.
I can't imagine.
I'm
how
glad
many
you didn't
kids
choose drugs.
$80 they got.
I'm glad you didn't choose the drug game because you'd have knocked it out of the water.
Yeah.
You'd have found out you were too good at something else.
At something else.
But so, what has been the most interesting venture you've ever undertaken?
The most interesting. I want to say, so I was a hands-on mother when my son was through elementary school. So one of the things, I opened my mouth, and I wish I hadn't, and ended up doing a mural. It was like parent week at the school. And I was like, I could draw on the wall for you a little bit, thinking it was just going to be a little 5x8 section, but ended up doing the mural of the length of the school.
Oh, wow.
So I was there all day, every day.
Oh, wow.
So what was interesting to me were the administrators, the teachers, and the help staff, and what they had to endure from these children.
Right.
And the fact that they have to get up and come in here every day to take disrespect from somebody else's child.
Yeah.
So I would always tell the kids, I don't work here.
Right.
I'm not in the employ of the administration. So I'm going to treat you the way I would listen, if I'm not going to allow my son to disrespect me, I refuse to allow disrespect from any child.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it's really my engagement with children or younger people. I think is the most interesting thing because they're ever unfolding.
Yes, definitely.
So they're ever unfolding. So
and
that's
they're so moldable.
That's right. And they're impressionable. And
Yeah.
if you can pour it into them, it'll
Yeah.
just keep giving.
Yeah, throughout society
I
as a
think
whole,
so.
right?
Absolutely.
That reverberation never stops. It just keeps
You have-
rippling.
yes.
It keeps rippling.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. You have to be very aware of the ripple effect that you kick off.
It does, because it can be negative too. It can be negative.
Because we make an impact regardless. We all make an impact. The question is, what type of impact are you going to make?
That's right. What
you know?
type of mark you want to leave?
So can you tell me, what is your most notable success story or moment of success where you just knew, like, this is it, I'm on, wipe me down,
my grease is hot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Let
pumping.
me say, when my grease is hot, I have to first give complete honor and thanks to the Most High, because
Amen.
my relationship with Him is golden.
Yeah.
And I think it is what it looks like.
Mhm.
So everybody has a preconception of what unifying or being bound to the side of the Most High looks like, because we've been taught a certain way.
Yes.
Right? So it doesn't have to look that way.
Right.
It doesn't have to look that way. And people may persecute you for your lifestyle or things that you do, but you can never be wavered on your relationship with
Right.
the Most High. So they're watching you. So that they're watching how you move.
Yeah.
If they see, man,
Yeah.
she's still cussing, and
Yeah.
the spirit of cussing is upon me. It is, and she still tells.
It's okay. It
jokes.
gets me too.
Yeah, she's still out, and it's not that I'm not living the life,
Mm-hmm.
but my lifestyle is my own.
Right.
So, and I only answer to one God.
Yes.
That's it. So, what I find the most refuge in is seeing people that were afraid
Mm-hmm.
to go to church or
Right.
go to any meditation spot or just bind themselves to anything.
Right.
Feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
To feel like it's okay, you can catch more bees.
Yeah. With honey,
So it's like stop
said that the
pushing
other day.
people away.
Yeah.
The church folk. I was raised. Everybody in my family is a bishop, a deacon, a reverend, a minister, a doctor, and I too have the title of minister, but I never lead with that because it immediately makes people handle you differently.
Yes, it does. It does.
So you just be who you are, and the right people, your people will find you.
Yes. Amen. The right tribe for your vibe.
That's right. We'll
I
definitely
love that.
find you.
Yeah. So your most notable success is becoming a minister then.
I
overall.
wouldn't say becoming a minister, but bringing people
to
a higher power.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely do. So tell me, what's the best advice that you've ever received that you just could never let go, even if you wanted to?
Even if I wanted to. The hardest lesson that life has to teach is loving someone you cannot reach. So that's, if you can't reach them mentally, physically, or emotionally, it becomes something you follow.
Yeah.
You chase it.
Yeah.
You chase it like, man, I gotta make them understand how I feel. I gotta make them feel what I feel.
Yes.
So it's the hardest lesson, because once you understand that it's not your job to make somebody love you.
Say that.
You know, so it's not your job, you know, to show them how much you love them. You can tell them and you can express it, but they'll never know the depths of your value as far as love is concerned. So I think it is a great piece, because you can love anything.
Yeah.
You know, you can love everything.
And you know what I say? I tell people that you can't be mad at somebody for not loving you the way that you want to be loved, or the way that you need to be loved, because they're just doing the best they can with what they have. We all
life
are.
experiences,
Exactly.
Right? They don't know how.
Yeah.
Trauma changes people.
Yes, and we all have our own little bag, you know?
Absolutely.
So then when you run into that person, you're trying to understand their trauma, your own trauma. They think they showed you love because they put the toilet seat down. And you're like, but I thought I showed you love because I paid the bill.
Try to out trauma,
you know? Oh, that's a good one.
That's you know, trauma bonding is just not good.
That's serious,
so
right?
Everybody has a bag of stuff.
Right.
It's just how you pull your stuff out the bag.
Right.
You got to pull it out. If you have somebody there with you to unload it, then, you know, look, I'm gonna take 2 things out of my bag. What you got?
Right. How about that?
Let's
How
figure
about
it out. Let's deal with
because it's not about your baggage. Yeah.
Let's have some empty bags.
Yeah, it's not about the size of the baggage you have.
Matter.
it's about you finding somebody who's willing to unpack with you.
Contest.
Let's unpack.
Oh, that's what happened to you. Well, let me tell you about this.
Yeah.
No, sometimes
the trauma Olympics. That's what I call it.
Nothing, just listen. So it's cool.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I just told somebody the other day. I think it was yesterday actually. When you call somebody and you're having an emergency. So I'm not the person that's going to tell you what my emergency is. When you call me with yours, I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah,
but just because I can't do anything to help you doesn't mean that I don't care. That's why I sat there and took the time out of my situation to listen.
And listening is valuable.
It is valuable.
It's valuable.
But then I also, through my healing, I had to find self-love as opposed to just self-care, right? Ooh. And in self-love, I learned things like, not to give too much, I won't say that instance, but in another situation, let's say I had a friend calling me. So I'm dealing with my son's, anniversary of his passing. Right before the anniversary of that son is another son's passing. You know what I'm saying? And then, I have a friend calling me about her boyfriend. You know what I mean? And it's like,
you don't equivocate.
I know it's urgent to you, but
reaction. You have an opportunity for it to be a response. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace before you try to deal with it, whether it be your problem or somebody else's.
Yes,
you have to. It's just going to be a mess, a crumbling mess.